Hey everybody, good morning. This is session AM on the app dev track for JCL UK 2023. Hope you having a great morning today. Really privileged. We've got Sujit Neb from BMC who's going to chat to us about some phenomenal stuff he's done with Slack and Jira and JCL. Really looking forward to this presentation. You're all muted. If when you want, we get to Q&A, I'm able to unmute you. So if you want to reach out, Sujit will be presenting, driving the car, but I'll be watching the chat and I'll pull some questions off. And depending on whether the question looks like it should be at the end or we'll just throw Sujit a question on the phone. Also, if any of you join with your video on, and I'm just checking, just out of courtesy and to stop any embarrassment and things like that, I'm going to switch your video off. But when we get into Q&A, I'm happy to unmute people and put people's video on to make it more interactive. Sujit, it's all yours. Go for it. We've got 1 hour.
Yeah, thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
So hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. So today we are going to discuss about the topic, the interact with Jira and then sending message to Slack channel from JCL. So this is one of the use case that we had in the past where there were no orchestration tools available, yet people wants to interact with Jira and sending message to their collaborative channel like Slack. So we'll discuss about what it has basically for all of us. And this is the agenda. I kind of divided this discussion into 2 parts. So first we'll discuss about interacting with Atlassian Jira from JCL. And then we'll discuss about sending message to Slack channel from a JCL. So we'll also look after prerequisites for these, how to steps, like how we can do this step by step. And then we'll conclude about where we can basically implement this type of stuff. Followed by demo. I have pre-recorded demo, so I will play them after my presentation, and then we'll take question for all of this. So let's start. So before we start with this discussion, we must have a couple of softwares or things available and accessible. So here is the first one. So we must have ZOS Unix System Services. We also call USS. Then we must have Python installed on our ZOS. And then we must have Atlassian Jira. So basically what we are going to do is we are going to run a JCL that will call Python through shell script using ZOS Unix System Services. And then it will capture the details from Jira using REST API and then display the results on again ZOS pool. So this is how it is going to be. So let's see step by step. So let's prepare a Python script to see what things we want from the Jira. So I'm naming it as mf-jira. So I'm basically now doing step-by-step discussion, and then we'll have demo to revise this concept. So you will have clear understanding about how things works in real time, and then probably you can implement in your space. So this is one of the REST API, and that basically provided by Atlassian Jira. So I'm just reusing it along with a couple of details that is specific to our organization. So you must have those updated for your case as well. And there are a number of things to be kept in mind while doing these things, because they are very specific to domain, and username credentials are also specific to domain. So first thing first, we must have Atlassian Jira and some Jira issue number. So what we are going to do with this Python script is we are running a get comment API, which is a REST API. And what it will do is it will fetch the last comment updated on one of the Jira issue. So we must have that Jira issue number where we want to get the comments from. Then we must have URL, which is a Jira URL. It is domain specific, so it can be like www.google.com and then followed by your Jira number and comment ID and things like that. So we are here checking the case about getting comments you can also get full issue details. There are a number of possibilities with REST API, but here we are taking very simple use case where we are just finding and getting the comment back from Jira. Third thing is authentication, which is very much important, and it is one of the basic authentication method where we have HTTP basic auth with username, password, and it can be anything which is specific to, again, your organization policy. It can be username and token or any personal access token and things like that. So based on your requirement, you can keep changing or updating this. And followed by, we have headers, response, and structures to kind of format the response we get. And at last, we printing the comment what we are extracting from the Jira number. So these are the two printf statements. They are also getting printed to spool, and we'll see how it works. So this is first thing required for our POC to run. So first prepare a Python script, then we must have to prepare JCL job to execute this Python script. So this is simplest JCL that we can write to get this Python script invoked. You can see that there is a utility being used, BPX batch. There are a number of possible ways using this BPX batch utility. One is with shell and one is with program. So here we are using program, just having a PDS and member, including our Python script to point to. So here you can see at the bottom of page, there is a another JCL or a PDS member that has the shell script, and it has the Python path actually to call the Python script. So you must also have to sorry, yeah, and now it is good for you. So it has basically shell script to point Python to your Python script, and it must be a absolute path, because if you don't have the absolute path, there might be a chance that you get the error that file not found or some type of issues in this JCL. So make sure that you have absolute path mentioned. I'm here using my user home directory, and which is resides on USS, ZOS USS, and it then fetch this Python script from there. So the script that I shown in step 1, I kind of transferred it to USS, and I have that inside this user directory, and it is the same script that we have discussed in step 1. So once we submit this JCL, what we get is we get the spool output, and you see this, there were 2 print statement, one with like what Jira issue number we have used, and then the extracted comment from the Jira. So the Jira number was Zeng -279,436, and the comment extracted was started working on this. So let's see and verify with Jira actually. So on top of the right side, you can see that there is a Jira URL, and as I said, like it will be your domain specific. You can verify the number 279,436, and the bottom box highlights the exact comment that we have retrieved. So you can so in this case, we are just getting the comment, but you can get full issue details, you can get full project details, you can get specific comment from the Jira issue and things like that. So there are a number of possible APIs available, and for the quick reference, I have given 2 reference URL. So one is for BPX batch. So you can also have curl kind of, or Python or a shell type of script, basically to call the REST API. Okay, so there are JavaScript also available, PHP, Python, Perl, and I think Java too. So you can find that all on Atlassian REST API documentation, and you can use that using BPX batch utility. Okay, so let's move on to next part of this, and don't forget to wait for last demo, because this is just a static kind of display, and you will see how exactly it works when I do the demo. So we'll move on to next part where we will send the message to Slack channel from JCL job. And here there are a couple of stages required. And what it happens is basically you need ZOS Unix system services, then you need Python, and again you need Slack user account with Slack workspace channel. So here the third requirement is unique to this specific use case. Here the use case is like if you are running batch programs, or if you are running specific job where you want to post your status of the batch or status of the job to some collaborative channel like Slack or Teams. So we can do that using JCL. So how we should do that is one of the case we are discussing. There are multiple possibilities with this type of use case. So we'll discuss one, and then I can also guide you some more use cases for that. So let's have first thing first. So we'll create a new Slack workspace and a channel. So I have given this presentation will be uploaded on JC UK agenda portal or maybe space. So you can download that later. So I have this sign-in link provided that will come to this first enter your email kind of web page. Then you must sign in using your email ID or Google ID or Apple ID or whatever you like. And once you sign in, you get option to create new Slack workspace. So you can name whatever you want using this button that I have highlighted in the second image. I'm keeping my workspace name as Interact Mainframe Slack just to make it more meaningful. Then I have created a channel inside this workspace, message from mainframe, just to understand that we are getting this message from mainframe. So at last you will see window or a web page like this. Okay, and there you see this top left is your workspace name. Then under channels, you have this message from mainframe channel. And on right hand side, you have the messages that are going to be posted on this channel. So this is the step one. Let's move to step two. So step two is basically what we need to do is we need to create app to define a scope. So we are going to define a scope where we want to send message to Slack using internal webhook. So first thing we need to do is we need to define a scope using app. So we'll create an app. Okay, so there is a Slack API available to create this app. So once you create the workspace, you launch this URL and there will be option to create an app, which is highlighted on the screen. And then then click option create from scratch, which is a pop-up window after this, and you will have to select that create from scratch option. Once you do that, you get this app name to be provided. So provide the meaningful name. I have provided like mainframe Slack app, and then there is a drop down option, pick a workspace to develop your app in. So so what we are doing is we are selecting a workspace where we want to post with one of the app that is newly defined. And once everything is given, just click on create app. It will create an application. So it is just an internal app to Slack, and it will be used for communication between Slack and JCL. So next thing is that once you create the app, you need to set up a Slack incoming webhook integration. So basically it is required to communicate between two channels. And here, once you click that app link where you see this mainframe Slack -app, you get this incoming webhooks option. So click on that. Once you click on that, there is a right-hand side option, activate incoming webhooks. By default, it is off. So we need to activate because we don't want anyone else to post on our channel. So, and by maybe mistake or some accidentally. So we by default, it is off. So let's make it on. Then at the bottom of that, you need to add a webhook to workspace. So basically your workspace has default 0 webhook. So we are creating a new one. And once you click that add new webhook over to workspace button, you get another pop-up window where you need to select the channel and click on allow button to grant the permission. So it was just a pop-up window. So I just added the small bullet point to highlight the point. Okay. And once you allow the permission, copy the webhook URL, and you see that there is a webhook URL created uniquely for your channel. That is name is message from mainframe, and you can see that who has added that and when. And also you see the sample call request to post to a channel. So this is basically used to understand whether our channel is up and running and it is accepting the external request through any REST API. Like here we are using post and we are posting hello world message. So we'll test this setup once using curl command. So let's test the newly added webhook URL. So as I showcased on previous step, there was a sample call request to post to a channel. So just copy it, okay? And I have kind of masked URL here, but it is full URL and you don't have to miss. Just remember to you don't miss anything in this URL. Otherwise, your API would not be able to post to the Slack channel, okay? So once you copy URL, there are number of curl command online running web pages available on the on the internet. So I just selected one and pasted my curl command over there and clicked on run. So, and you see this right hand side, there is a response response time and the content. So here the response was okay. That means it was posted clear on the channel, and you can see the Slack channel was getting the hello world message posted from our new webhook integration. So now we have to add this webhook URL inside our Python program or script, where you can be able to post your type or your specific message to this channel. So now let's see how to prepare that one. So first thing we need to name. So I'm naming it as mf-slk just to make it short and scripts. So here is a big API, but don't worry about it. It is again REST API provided by Slack API messaging, and you can have fancy things like emojis, thumbs and down, like color combinations and stuff like that around or your message that you want to be posted on the channel. So here the main thing is Slack webhook URL that we have already received in our previous step and the Slack channel name. So here two things important, rest all can be modified, changed or as per our requirement. So here we are checking two cases like 0 and 1. So this program is going to generate a random number 0 and 1, and on 0 we publish a success message, and on 1 we publish a failed message. So there is a messaging like everything is good. The CI/CD DevOps pipeline has completed its successful execution, which means it is 0, and the next line is 1. So we are here considering two cases. One is success and one is failure. So just for demonstration purpose, we selected this 0 and 1, but it can be anything that you would like to display on your Slack channel. So, and at the end, we are printing event response. So it is a REST API response code just to ensure that our API was successfully executed or not. And that's how we just verify our API. So as I said, like input Slack channel name is very important. If you make a mistake, any spell issue or any syntax issue, it won't be able to post into your Slack channel. Then as I said, like message is an important thing. The rest is just optional. And now let's test our Python script. So in order to test, I am testing this first locally, just because it is big kind of program, and we don't want to just transfer it to mainframe first and see whether it is running or not. So better to get it executed first on locally to ensure that it works all okay, and then probably we can transfer to mainframe. So here you can see that I have executed this Python script and I got the event response 200. So 200 is okay, successful. In case of any unsuccessful event, it won't get a 200 response code back. So this script is okay. Now let's see whether it posted a message on Slack. So yes, it posted a failed type of message. So it was 1, and you got the details. And I was discussing about this fancy stuff like emojis, the color combinations and icons. Okay, so it is up to you how you want to define and display that. So basic thing is you can display hello world type of message, or you can have some meaningful or decorative message as well. So we are here verifying message that we exactly posted this one, and this was posted in terms of failure. So the Python script is okay. Now let's call our JCL. So we need to create a JCL in order to run this again Python program. And we have the similar structure that we see earlier during our Atlassian Jira 2ZOS interaction. The difference only here is we have the Python script name changed for Slack program. So we have that changed. Again, it is inside my home directory, and it is being used, being executed using shell script and Python 3. So make sure that you have, if you don't find Python 3 on your USS, you must have to check inside bin where it is installed, and then provide the absolute path for that. And then you can run this Python script if it is not working. And also, as I said earlier, there is 2 options available. Like here I am using JCL batch to call the PDSN member to run the shell script. You can directly put shell script here as well, and you can provide in-stem shell script for this JCL, so that it can also reduce your time and make it dynamic in terms of batch execution. So consider example, you have sort job, and followed by you need to post message to your Slack channel whether it is success or fail. So based on the return code from sort job. So sort job can have 3 steps. First step is sorting, second step is success, and third step is failed. So what we are doing is we are running the sort job first based on the return code from the step 1, that is sort. We run the next step. So in case of success, we run the pass or success step, and if in case of max CC anything other than 0, we post a fail message. So likewise, we can make it interactive in terms of batch execution wherever you have more than one job or more than one things to track. Okay. So let's submit this JCL job and see what is the output. So as I said, I think you already have noticed during our local execution also we got this event response 200. And I have one more case during my demo where we are getting 404, where there is more than one channel available with the same name and user doing mistakes using webhook URL. Now it end up with kind of issue. Okay, so Slack channel here you can see that it was posted successfully as a success message. And again, I have given the messaging REST API documentation, BPX patch utility documentation. So there are a number of APIs available from Slack, and you can choose one of those to consider your case. So now moving to demo part. So we'll have 2 demos. First is interact with Atlassian Jira, and then sending message to a Slack channel. Okay. So I have pre-recorded them, so I'm just running. sorry. Yeah, so this is the first one. So I'm again repeating some of the basic facts that we discussed earlier. So it is going to be quicker. Again, this is same Python REST API that is being published by Atlassian Jira. So we are reusing with just custom inputs like Jira issue number, URL, comment ID, and the username password with our to authenticate this request. Okay, and there is some header and response and data structure, and just to format our response, and we just need to extract the comment from the all the details that is getting fetched. So at last we are printing that with print statement, and that will be printed on our spool. So here you can see that there is a JCL and the same what we are seeing earlier. I'm just ensuring that we are having BPX batch program. We have a member, and that member consists of the Python script and the shell script details. So that is all good. Then I'm just checking that we are supplying the correct shell script to call our Python script. And if it is okay, then just go back and submit the JCL. And also you see this Unix directory here, you have seen mfjira.py present, and make sure that you have the right read, write, and execute permission for that Python program. Otherwise you won't be able to submit the Python from JCL. Okay, so I'm giving full permission for this Python program, and I'm running then the JCL. So here again, I'm onto JCL, I'm just submitting, and I'm capturing the job max is 0. And you can see that event response is 200. So that means it was okay. I'm just finding that job and going to standard out. Yeah, and you can see that it was the same what we have seen earlier from our local execution. So mainframe also shows the same result what we are looking after from Jira. So you can get comment, and you can also create a Jira task using the API. And yeah, you can see the Jira number and the comment started working on this. So this was extracted using our JCL. Okay, so that is about interaction with Atlassian Jira from JCL. Let's move on to message to Slack from JCL. So first thing first, as I said, like we need to sign in and then create a workspace. And as I already had existing workspace, I just clicked on the existing one. And you see this, the same structure that I have showcased in my screenshot. That is workspace name, channel name, and the right side has whatever channel you have present. So if you don't have channel present already, you can create a new channel using this create channel link and provide any name, and it is editable, so you can change it anytime. I'm just creating it a mock. Okay. So moving on to this webhook integration creation. So as I said, like we need to create an app. So this was app creation window that we have seen. And once you click on app, create app, it has the pop-up. Sorry, yeah, it has the pop-up window. Yeah, so here you can see that interactive webhook. Then select the activate incoming webhook. It is activated, and then you see this space. So here default no webhooks have been added it. So let's add it new. So with this bottom button, we are adding it new webhook to workspace, searching a channel. So I search from mainframe, we're just using the channel, allow, that was the permission to be allowed for our app to interact with this channel. And once it is allowed, there is a webhook URL available now for this channel. So this was copied to our Python script. Okay, and before Python script, I just again reran using online run curl commands, and it was okay. Status 200, that means successful response. So let's move on. And so here you can see that Slack webhook URL and channel name was mentioned here, and I kind of created two channels with the same. So here I was getting the event response 404 because it was not able to make a communication between that specific web app. Here you can see that there is a web app name is Interact Mainframe Slack app, and one is Mainframe Slack app. So there was a conflict with the same message having interaction with two apps. So I had to delete one and update the webhook URL for the first one. Now let's see. I'm just copying the webhook URL again. I'm testing it. Okay, it's running. And yeah, it is posted. And now going to mainframe. Again, mainframe has the same JCL that we had for Jira. The only difference is we have Python program for Slack. Again, it has all read-write execute access on USS. And then we submit the JCL. Yeah, and max is 0. So all good. And once it is executed, I'm going to spool. So let me show you. It will have just event response. Yeah, 200 is okay. Yeah, so here you can see the success message was posted and earlier was failed one. So you have two types of message posted on this Slack app and web channel. So that's about the demo. So that's about my use case and the discussion about interacting with Atlassian Jira and sending message to Slack using JCL. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put that into chat window and I would like to answer those. If you're not comfortable now, you can contact me on this email ID, svjit_neb@bmc.com. And please submit your session feedback at this URL. And feel free to give me more in-depth feedback as well if you would like to. So any questions so far?
Hey, Sujit, there's no questions on the chat at the moment. That was really good. I have a couple of questions. You piqued my interest. So what about the reverse scenario, which is where it's great that so you're sending a message to Slack, presumably that's really good for notification,
right?
Because somebody is, perhaps you want to alert somebody who's at the weekend or something like that.
Correct.
It says, something's gone bang or there's tickets open. That's great. I saw you had your JCL. Your JCL was using BPX batch SL,
yeah.
I think, was it?
Yeah, BPX batch.
BPX batch. Could you talk a little bit about that? So there's another program called BPX batch SL. I think is
okay. So BPX batch is basically to execute the shell script on ZOS Unix system services. And basically this PDS member also has the shell script only. And it is one of the way to call the shell script on the ZOS. So using JCL. So what we are doing is we are executing shell script, and that shell script can run any type of programs which is possible with shell script like Python or simple shell script or any command or any curl command for that sake. And you can post and you can do basic operations with that shell script. So like updating some status code or updating any notification or any updating or running any API for that matter, REST API, you can say with Python. So BPX batch is used in that way, where you have limited access to other orchestration tools or REST APIs, or any CI/CD tools like Jenkins or GitHub or GitLab, like those. So that's where BPX batch is used, but I'm not sure about the other one that you said.
Okay, so you're going from the JCL, which is running as a MVS started task.
Yeah.
Creates BPX batch, creates a little shell for you, probably a Unix
Yeah.
system shell. Then
Yeah.
that's where Python's running, because Python's a UTF language. Python runs your mf-srk.py program runs, and then that program basically does a curl post, or that flies out of the network. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it can do curl post as well as normal REST post as well. So it depends on your scenario. And yeah, it's actually cool when there is a restriction to use orchestration tool in your environment. So I think that's where this use case came in.
Okay. Another interesting scenario, and I just want to run this past you. What if you sent a message out to Slack, and an operator's walking around, they're at the shopping center, they're at the cinema with their children or grandchildren or whatever, or their family, and then they see the message and they want to do some sort of response, like perhaps they want to answer an operator code, or do you see where I'm going with this? Is there any way to make it interactive?
So you want async? So yeah, it can be possible, but with this POC, I haven't done that interactive operation. So yeah, it can be possible to just send back that abort or abandon the job or batch wherever you have seen the failures or unnecessary things. So yeah, we can try that out, but not at the moment. So I don't have the answer for you exactly, but it is possible. It is possible.
Presumably you could do more in Python. So let's assume that a particular error code, sometimes I know when I'm debugging problems, when an error code occurs, sometimes you want maybe 10 lines of the log beforehand, 10 lines afterwards or something. There's a little window, even if the spool is thousands of lines long. That's probably the crime scene. So that'd be interesting. Or perhaps you just want the last 15 lines.
So what in that case, you can run a shell script to capture the tail of those logs messages, and before you capture those sum of last 10 lines or 100 lines, I think you can print your spool output to some PDS or PS file, just in case if you want to have the history, and you can then tail and capture some of the last using shell. So that will be very good useful case for in that matter. So here I will explain you more thing. Like here there is a JCL, and instead of this Python program, just have a shell script and a shell command, tail-f, and then file name or how many lines you want. So tail-f 10 lines or 100 lines, and then the file name, and it will just fetch those 10 lines in your spool output or wherever you want. So that will be a great view, for easy view, I would say, rather than going into spool and capturing all those things.
Okay, and I've got another question for you. So Python is, so most mainframers, older than, I don't want to get ages here anyway. I'm 56. Okay, so certainly my age, or perhaps even back to the 45s and older, are quite comfortable writing JCL.
Yeah.
Or perhaps they're even comfortable writing Rex or something like that. Python's a sort of newer language.
Yeah.
Where do you fit? Do you find Python quite easy to write? Do you find it can do as much as JCL can? Where do you line the fence with like Python for automation?
Okay, so basically with mainframe and Python, we can go hand in hand, and where there is a limitation on mainframe side, we can make use of Python, like in this case. So we could not have done directly shell script to run on some different Jira or some other collaborative tools. So in that case, yes, we need to go hands-on, means hand in hand, to do a collaborative work between Python and JCL. So definitely JCL is have been there for years, and it is still working. So we have to go case by case, but yes, Python is easy to understand, and there are a lot of documentation available if you stuck somewhere. So that's my case,
So
basically. Or
I have one quick question about Python. So in your Python script,
Mhm,
you basically did a post command, did you? Right.
yes.
So post or you use curl or something. I don't think
Mhm.
curl runs on the mainframe natively, but you did a post command. So let's assume in Python, we talked a little bit about getting the jazz spool, perhaps getting the last 15 lines.
Mhm.
So let's assume that you realize something's gone bang and you want to send a message to Jira, and perhaps you need to even issue some TSO commands. Perhaps you need to query the system in quite a deep way. You know, TSO gives you access to lots of the system. You can query permissions and whatever, assuming that you have the right permission for your TSO use ready. So you're constructing this kind of crime scene and sending that as a payload to Slack on somebody's phone. How good is Python for doing that? Can it get it? Can you run TSO commands? Can you read the console? I just wonder if maybe I'm going off piece with that question.
No, TSO command in the sense from mainframe, you meant to say run reading command from TSO or
Well,
where?
I'm just running. So Python runs everywhere that the Python, I think it compiles to C code, right? So Python runs everywhere that Python runs. So it's a cross-language app program like Java is or Node or something like that. But on every platform, Java on the mainframe has something called JSOS and things like that. You always need extra packages to give you that kind of native binding to really get into that platform. Some things like the file system and networking will be abstracted, but there are so many ZOS specific things like that you need to do to be able to collect diagnostic information from the mainframe. I'm just wondering what your experience is of Python. When Python is running under Unix system services, how good is it for really getting
Okay.
Whereas JCL, for example, you can grab anything because it's been around since the dawn of time, hasn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, it depends on the API or the program that you are writing. It's able to execute on the mainframe or USS. So if it is done like here, we are posting, we are doing a REST API for post. So if it is able to post the API or a REST API, then it is getting the response code back. So that type of thing is possible with Python. So whatever is within their limit, and I you might have noticed that I said like you must have access to the Unix directory in order to execute this JCL. So by default, if you create any file on USS, you get only read access for owner, other, and group. So there is less chance to play around this Python code. Okay, and it only has the read access by default. So if you are an administrator, you will be very rigorously following the access permissions for these files before it is executed by others or groups or any user. So I think that's where the the control comes in, and it can be again controllable using system admin. And in my case, I have given full access because I had to read, write, and execute all three using my user ID. So definitely we have to be very cautious when we create this Python file, when we provide the permissions on Unix directory, and what task we are doing. So most of the tasks possible with Python, but I haven't explored all those. But yeah, I think that is my next. That will be my next target.
Cool. Yeah. So you're talking about permissions. Yeah, I think on Unix system services you have, is it the RWX bits, don't you?
Yeah.
And by default, yeah. So you need to have the X bit executable.
Yeah. X. Let me show you.
Yeah.
I have that in my demo. Yeah. Here you can see read, write, and execute. So the first group is for user, second group is for other, and third group is for first is user, second is groups, and third for others. So here my file has all read, write, execute access for all those members. Okay, so and you have to be careful while giving the permission to specific file. And if you don't have permission, say suppose if I just have r hyphen hyphen r hyphen hyphen r hyphen hyphen, then I would have not be able to execute this program. So that's how the control is. I think that is very much important in this case.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, and your home directory, and sometimes there is a limitation on the curl is installed on ZOS, USS or not, or you have this Python installed or not. So then you have to point out to specific location to call that Python executable. Then only you will be able to run the code. Okay, so let me show you. Like here, I have I only wrote the Python 3 because I'm able to access the bin folder for this Python. But if I don't have access, then I would have to give take first the access to running the Python script and then provide the absolute path for that Python executable.
So I think that I think that Python doesn't come installed with ZOS 2.5, does it? I think you have to go and get it from.
Get it, yeah.
Presumably IBM delivers Python. You can get it from.
Yes. So your system admin will install that for you.
And what about curl? Does curl come with Python?
No. It has to be different, altogether different package. So again, mostly it is not installed by default. So you must ask to get it installed first. I think there is a Rocket curl available. I'm not sure about which package, but yeah, I have seen in my environment that is available for execution.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know we're vendor neutral convert, but yeah, but I think Rocket do have quite a lot of open source tools. Like they have the Git client and curl and bash and a few others, and they really make the Unix and USS really sing, don't they? Because they bring in all of that great distributed stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So.
Okay, I'm looking at the questions. If anybody wants to ask a question, you do have a lot of really great. It's a phenomenal little thing you do. My next, but please come into the chat, and I can take you off mute if you want. Everybody's muted at the moment. What would be? Where are you going next with this project? What are you thinking of doing next? It looks like you've started something that's interesting.
Yeah, there are a number of cases where we have batch, and we are looking after making it more dynamic, as you said, like getting back a response from Slack, abort, stop, something one-liner or two-liner words, just to interrupt the process on mainframe reverse way. So we'll have to do some reverse engineering in order to make it more interactive.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. I'd love to catch up with you on that, maybe at a future GSE or something, because posting data from the mainframe externally is something that you can control and audit.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and mainframes are constantly posting data to the outside world, right?
Yeah.
That's, mainframes are used for banking transactions, and they're very chatty. They're at the core of a very interconnected network. The reverse is a little bit difficult. If you want somebody from a Slack client to be able to say, oh, cancel this job or take a response code, that's really interesting, because that opens a doorway to, that's the kind of thing that makes security people concerned, rightly so.
Yeah, it can be concern as well. It will be a good case as well if it is very much required to stop something which is not required after some status code. Then it is good. But if someone tries to steal the information, then it will be difficult.
Right. Yeah, you've got what the security people call them attack vectors, don't you? You've got an angle where somebody, and it's not that it can't be secured, but you get into the world of multi-factor authentication and two-factor out of band and client-side certificates, and which is a great world to understand. It's a but yeah, the complexity goes up a lot, but the rewards are huge. Cool. So are you going to upload? It looks like
I will upload it just now after our session.
Yeah, no worries. So if anybody wants to, then they'll just go into the agenda. It looks like you've got an embedded video. Let us know. Sometimes the video clips can be a bit big. If it gets too big,
I haven't embedded it. I have kept it separate.
oh, okay, great.
Yeah. So if anyone wants, just contact me on my email. I would be happy to send you or upload you some common SharePoint.
Yeah. So if you're okay with this, Sujit, what I've seen some presenters do in the uploaded presentation. So post it somewhere on like a Google Drive or somewhere that's unauthenticated. Everybody can get access to that you're comfortable with.
Right.
And then on that bit of the chart, just have a link to that, have the URL to that drive, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
So it keeps the PDF. It also means you can export it as a PDF as well.
Yes.
Because I think we want PDF formats rather than
Yeah.
PowerPoint. So then your PDF is there. There's a nice big link. You add it as a hyperlink. You click that, and then happy days, and people are off, or Box or whatever you're comfortable with as your file sharing system.
Yes. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, that's fine with me.
Awesome. Okay, Sujit, I'm just going to wind up soon, just because we haven't had any Q&A, unless anybody else wants to. But any closing comments? Anything else you'd like to?
Yeah, I think this is very much good in terms of exploring more opportunities in this area where you are able to run Python, Java, JavaScript, or any other type of programs through shell script and through USS. So please try and go and look out for some more use cases in your area, and do share. There is a blog also available with this type of POC on Tech Channel. So please do visit as well if you are stuck with this. So that has also the step-by-step process to do all this stuff. So that's also written by me and my one of colleague Subhashish. So yeah, feel free to go and check Tech Channel blog as well. So thank you very much for joining, and appreciate your time, and have a good day.
Sujit, thank you so much. Thanks everybody for joining. Stick around. There's a phenomenal agenda for the rest of the day. And yeah, happy Thursday.
Yeah, right. You too. Bye.
Cheers,
Take
team.
care all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks
Cheers.
again, Sujit. Cracking job. Bye, team.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah.